What if I told you you don't need confidence to start something? What if that's actually a lie that they've been telling us? Because my husband and I built a business with about 65 employees, and I was very terrified the entire time. If you're a highly sensitive person, an HSP, you've probably been waiting, and you're waiting to feel confident before you start something, the business, the project, or even your dream. And here's what I need to tell you. You're going to wait forever because confidence isn't what you think it is. And it's definitely not what helped us build our business. By the end of this video, one, you're going to know why HSPs don't have access to confidence and why that's actually okay. Two, what I had instead when I started and how it's gotten stronger. And the third thing is the one thing that led me to start before I felt ready. And I'm also going to tell you about the day my husband and I received the keys to our vans, the first five, and I actually threw up in the parking lot. All right. So let me tell you about the first day that we received the keys to the first five vans. So I'll take you back to end of 2020. My husband and I had been talking about starting a logistics business for months. We had done all the research, run the numbers, found the space, and now the day came that we were going to receive the keys to the first five vans. Like we were actually doing this, starting a logistics company. We have committed to everything we've saved, everything we've discussed that we were going to do, and for me, I was just sitting in the car and in the parking lot, it was just this, I can't open the door. And that was because I was so terrified and I couldn't get out of the vehicle because I was thinking, I'm not confident at all. And I'm thinking in my head, as an HSP, we overthink things, right? What if we fail? What if we lose everything? What if I'm not good enough to do this? What if people find out I have zero idea of what I'm doing because my background is in the medical field and I'm a registered nurse. That's what I work as a pediatric registered nurse. And my husband's looking at me like, you okay? And yes. And I say, I think I'm going to throw up. And I did right there, right in the parking lot before the biggest business decision of our lives. And here's the thing. I wasn't confident when we started. I wasn't confident even at year two. I'm still not confident at year six. So, but we've accomplished a lot because we have 65 employees, we're profitable and we're growing. So confidence didn't build a business. Something else did. And I need to tell you what it is because if you're waiting for confidence, you're waiting for the wrong thing. And I'm going to share with you why, as HSPs, we don't have confidence. All right. So let me tell you why. As HSPs, we don't have access to confidence and why that's not a flaw. I'm going to give you three reasons. Reason one is we see all the ways things could go wrong. Yep, we do. Those of you who are HSPs, you know exactly what I'm talking about because confidence requires a certain level of, I want to say, blindness so that you do not see all the risks. Yeah, that's what I would say, beauty blindness. So you don't see all the risks. But HSPs, we process very, very deeply, which means we see every single risk before it happens. Yes, we do. I saw fire flood, like where we're going to park the vehicles, the recession, the supply chain collapse, employees quitting, um, let's say customers leaving, complaining about our employees, equipment breaking, the vans breaking, like, and all of that was real. Those were real risks. And so, how am I supposed to feel confident when I could see all the ways we could fail? Which brings me to reason number two. As HSPs, we feel other people's doubt. So when I told people that we were starting a logistics business, some of them were supportive and some of them were not. Some of them were skeptical. And I could feel it. And they were asking, "Are you sure? That's risky. What if it doesn't work? You're leaving your nursing career, you're not going to work your nursing job." And because I'm an HSP, I absorbed their doubt. That's what we do. Maybe you do too when you're about to embark on something that you're about to do. And people doubting us made me doubt myself. So maybe that happens to you. Like, do you ever feel like before you get started with something or you have a project, you don't want to share everything with everyone because you just keep it close to your chest? Because sharing with other people, they start pointing things out. So confidence requires not caring what other people think. And I'll be honest that sometimes I can't do that, which leads me to reason number three. We've been told we're too sensitive to even become entrepreneurs or business owners. And for me, for example of myself, I've been told my whole life, like, you're too sensitive, you're too emotional, you can't handle stress, you're not cut out for the real world. And starting a business, that's the real world. And those of you who are, can relate to this, because when I'm sitting in the parking lot throwing up and having all these feels, and my brain was saying to me, yeah, they were right. You're too sensitive for this. You're going to fail. But how do you then build confidence when you've been told you're an HSP or you've been sensitive for years, that you're not strong enough, that you're not worthy, you're not cut out for it? So for me, what I had instead is it got me thinking, so if I didn't have confidence, then what did I have? And I came to the realization that I had safety. That's what I had. And not confidence, safety. Because having safety as an HSP is what we fall back on. Because that's what I kept asking myself, like, yeah, what did I have? Yeah. And then I came to realize that I had safety. And here's the difference between having, safety and confidence. Confidence says, I know I'll succeed. Sense safety says, I can survive if I fail. So that's the difference between the two. And that's what what I built before we even got started with the business. Like, I had to try and figure out the difference between safety and confidence. And also what I did was we decided that, yes, I will keep my nursing job. Everyone told me, if you're going to do this, you have to go all in. You have to quit your job. You have to commit fully 100%. And I said, no, because going all in isn't brave when you're an HSP. It's actually terrifying, very terrifying. So I kept my 9 to 5 as a pediatric health nurse. Still have it. 6 years later, where we have the business, I still have my full-time job. And that's my safety net. That's what lets me take risks in the business that I've partnered with my husband, because I know if it all falls apart, I still have my nursing income. And that's not lack of confidence. That's me regulating my nervous system. And the second thing is we started small. We didn't just go from 0 to 65 employees overnight. There's a ramp up process. Year one, you have, let's say 20 employees, and, I'm also still working my full-time job. And year two, we're starting now to delegate and grow the business. So yeah, you don't just start from 0 to the 65 all at one go. You have to do it systematically. And that is kudos to my husband for being the visionary behind the business. And we're here now, still going, still profitable, going 6 years later. And that reminded me that I didn't need confidence to hire employee one. I just needed to survive hiring employee one, and then do it again and do it again and do it again. Because what I'm learning is that, and maybe you can ask yourself this if you're noticing this, like, confidence is a luxury and safety is a strategy. And brings me to point number three. We build systems for our nervous systems. And that's what we need to do as HSPs. I knew I could handle chaos, so we built systems and the standard operating procedures for everything, like checklists, protocols, clear expectations for the employees. And because here's also what I learned as a nurse. When this is my as my nursing background, I've learned that when things go wrong, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on your training, which is what I do. So we made sure all our employees are trained, we documented, and we practice. And we constantly check in with team building, making sure the systems are working, getting feedback from the employees, what's working. We try these things out and piloting different things. So all we did was just train, document, and practice. Not and for me, it wasn't not because I was confident. I was just terrified and I needed a plan. So point number four is I also told my team that we don't have all the answers. Because when we have our staff, when we were having our very first few staff meetings, we're I, I had to give that speech and speak to them and this inspiring speech. And I was just thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say? And instead, I said to them, because just being honest, because we're figuring things out also as we go, as we implement different things. And once we set the systems in place, I said to myself, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning as we go. If you see something that we could improve or we could make better, you need to let us know. And surprisingly, you know what happened? The employees respected that more than if I'd pretended that I had confidence, right? Because I am finding that honesty builds trust and trust builds safety. And for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Sly. I'm a pediatric telehealth nurse, still working my 9 to 5. I am a co-owner with my husband of an Amazon logistics company. We're an Amazon branded company with 65 employees, and we're 6 years in. I'm also a wife going on 15 years, and I'm an HSP. If this is resonating with you, I want you to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, because I started this corner of the internet on YouTube for our HSPs in January, and I'm still figuring this out in real time. How to be an HSP while running a business, working full time as a nurse, being a wife, and not disappearing and being seen publicly, even in the messy middle. So if you know another HSP who's waiting to feel ready, share this with them because um, what I'm sharing, I'm hoping will change how they see their hesitation. And if you're waiting to feel confident before you start something, stop waiting. Just do it. Just when like how I started this channel, I just started it. I've been saying I need to be ready, but you're never going to be ready. You don't need confidence. You just need to feel safe enough to start. And you can build safety before you feel ready. So keep your job, start small, build systems, admit that you're learning, be a student of the world. That's not weakness. That's how HSPs build things that last. And because we started small, we've grown to 65 employees and we're profitable and we're still growing. And even though I threw up 6 years ago in that parking lot, I'm I'm still learning. I'm still not confident, and I'm okay admitting that, and I'm learning every day. I learn something new from our employees, from my husband. He's a very good teacher of how the business is run as I maintain my full-time job. So I'm not confident, not because I didn't believe in myself, but because I built systems that didn't require me to believe in myself. So thank you for letting me share my story. I hope this helps you continue to believe in yourself. You're doing better than you think, and I will see you in the next one.